And hello to all my Aquarius friends, I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free Psychic Tarot reading for June 2023. Now today they have dialed up for my great Aquarians a Celtic cross spread, and a Celtic cross spread is a great spread for general readings because it looks a little bit in the past, a little bit in the future, but it focuses the most on what is going on smack dab right here, right now. In this case, it's June. Celtic Cross is also the only spread that I do that devotes an entire card and a position to the environment. So there's something around you, great Aquariuses, in the month of June that they want to bring your awareness to, or at least, make sure you're watching for. So, interesting things lie ahead, especially because they asked that I conclude your reading today with something very fun. I love doing animal totems, and here they want me to do 2 animal totems for you guys. So we're going to be doing a transition from one animal, getting out of those characteristics, moving into the characteristics of the secondary animal. And animal totems are a lot of fun. You never know what Spirit's going to throw at us, so we're going to pick that apart as well. End your reading with a runestone, and that'll wrap up this thing we call June 2023. So let's get started right now, guys. The cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save us all a bunch of time. And I'm going to bring you in the overhead so you can watch. I'd like to share my table with you. We are live and recording. What I'm doing right here, Aquarius, these are my ritual cuts, basically cutting each deck into thirds, putting them back together in a separate order. That satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. It is the same procedure for personal and private readings. Now the Celtic Cross does get a little tall. My camera on the overhead view here is kind of widescreen, so it'll probably get cut off, and I'll move it around so you can see everything. But here we go in our attempt to make it on screen. This is you and all that you are. This is what crosses you. This is what's before you, the recent past, and this is what's in front of you, the near future. This is what's above you, something that you're aware of. This is what's below you, something that you're not. Then we have running up the sides with 7, 8, number 9, and number 10. I'm going to bend in for the sake of the camera, hopefully getting that somewhat on screen. And there we go. Now, I don't do a whole lot to the Celtic Cross. I do tack on major arcana cards, angel cards to the major arcana cards, and I need to check my people cards too. I don't think we have any people. Well, we have one person here. So let's make sure that's not a person. They say, no, we're using the energetic definition, so that part is done. Now, inverts for the whole set, though. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good distribution, actually. That's good to go, too. So we just need angel cards for all the major themes, which is that one. Set it up like that. We got one over here. Probably off screen. I'll show you in a sec. One down here. And one here. And there are all your major arcana cards covered. Let me show you. All right, Aquarius. This mess here is your main cross. That's not too messy, actually. That's your main cross. Get that one on screen, too. Then we have running up the sides with number 7. Position number 8, position number 9, and final outcome number 10. It's going to go up there, actually. So there we go. Let's get to work, Aquarius. Got to do your animal totems, too. Here we go. Here we go. All right, scoot this back over so I can see it nice and clearly. Get you guys a nice, good read here. Okay, so we start off with a little bit of a bad decision in June, guys. What is that all about? What is going on with this bad decision? Either some of you have already made a bad decision and you're dealing with it, or for some of you, they're trying to get you to avoid one of these that is coming very, very quickly here in June. So just kind of, what do you do about that? That's really tough. It's unless you know what this is. I mean, for some of you, you might be like, oh, well, I've been thinking about doing this, even though I probably shouldn't be doing that, or, something like that. You might want to consider avoiding or not doing, definitely because we talked about it and because they're calling it a bad decision. Now, if you're one of the Aquariuses that has already made a bad decision here, and that is just how we kick off June, well, hey, you know what? You can't go back in time. You can't do it over again. So we can only go forward. So you just got to deal with what you've done here, and you got to, bite the bullet, so to speak. You got to do what you got to do. Now, what they show next here, what crosses you guys, is things getting pretty interesting, actually. So despite the way that it starts out, things are getting less boredom. We're moving kind of away from the boredom here and the mundane and the everyday, day-to-day grind, something like that. For my great Aquariuses here, and moving into a more interesting phase. It's actually like coming in, I feel like, very early. Very, very early. Some of you may actually already know what I'm talking about here when I say things are getting interesting. Now, that is a cup, so that is usually more love corner type of deal. Something close to your heart, like a friend. They could be talking about friendship, lovers, love life, love corner. Anything close to your heart really can be interesting there, but that's what they show. They show something is getting interesting there, and that sounds like a good thing. So we'll just kind of leave that be. As we move backward in the past here, this is recent past stuff. So this is not that long ago, and they show home coming in pretty good. Now, I do have just kind of one person in the home, so that's interesting. Just throwing it out there. But energy in the home, money being put into the home, that's kind of the way it's been. Moving into kind of current day here, or what is going on now. So whatever you've done before, I guess it's still, maybe you're still paying for it, some of you. Maybe some of you are still doing it. You know, maybe it's an ongoing thing, something like that, working on the home environment. We'll talk about the environment more when we get to that spot. But as we move into the future position, this is something that is coming soon, and they talk about the window being wide open for you guys here. You guys are getting the full scope of all the information. Little birdie in your ear telling you the truth about something. So this is something that has evaded you for a while. And you're getting the nuts and bolts here. You're getting down to the nitty gritty, the core group of what's going on here. High Priestess card. So this can also be, because this is a general reading, I have to give you at least I try to give you as many definitions of the cards as I can. Now, for some of you, it's going to be what we just described, that information kind of being opened. For others of you, this future position can be about scholastic stuff, learning new things, new trades, new crafts, new accreditations, learning something that you didn't know before. All that stuff comes in very close in the future here, Aquarius, as a really great thing here. You guys can soak this up like a sponge, and they show prioritize. So really getting your priorities in check with this is going to be huge, regardless of what definition we're using for you. Context is key in a general reading. And, we have a lot of you tuning in here. We have a lot of great Aquariuses tuning into my videos. You guys are awesome. But at the end of the day, nothing beats a personal private reading, and those are available on my website, scottsagent.com. In fact, all of my products are personalized just to you. So if you want information that's just not all about your Aquarian friends plus you, that is the way to go. But here they talk about prioritization. So focus on what these highest priorities are, okay? Kind of build it up as such, and they're going to help you get organized and motivated. So they're saying, you do the front work, we'll do the back work. You got to let us know what we need to work on, where our energy needs to be focused on, and we're going to kind of put things together behind the scenes for you here, Aquarius, and we're going to get you there. We're going to get you there very, very soon. So that's coming in near future. As we move into the above position, here I'm telling you something that you're already aware of. They show the Lovers card on invert here, so it's saying that two people are in good shape here. I don't know if they're talking about you and somebody else, like your lover. What if you're single? Okay, this could be a family member, a close friend, basically showing two people or two entities working in tandem, working together. And since you already kind of should have a pretty good idea of what this is, I don't really need to put a lot of time into it or speculate. They do say remember who you are, though. So this is kind of the caveat to the whole thing. It's Archangel Michael, the big one, one of only two named angels in the Bible, coming in and saying you are a powerful, loving, and creative child of God, and you are very loved. But I focus the most on the topic, the subject line, remember who you are. So that makes me feel, kind of if you read between the lines, that you've kind of lost your way a little bit about who you are. Or people are trying to get you to act or do things that you wouldn't normally do. So remember your moral compass, remember the lessons you've learned, remember the past, what got you to this point you're at now, and it could be you and this other person. Maybe it feels to me like a close family member, like you and somebody really close that you're close to. It doesn't even mean that it's a soulmate connection. But it is a loving one. So we'll just call it that. As we get into the bottom position, that is something you're not aware of. So before I do that, which is my favorite position in the Celtic cross, I want to break away to tell you about those moon cycles and just kind of looking ahead. We have a very relevant thing for full moon, as well as actually full moon is going to be the big one. So focus on the full moon when we cut away to these moon cycles, and I'll be right back for your bottom position. Okay guys, it is moon cycle forecast time. We have a pretty simple set of moon cycles for this summer, June and July, and we start getting into some larger lunar events in August. But first, here's the transition to how things are moving, because the new moon is starting to move up. It's already pretty much smack dab in the middle of the month, and the full moon also moving up is right at the beginning of the month. But pretty soon, that full moon is going to drop to the end of the month, and the new moon is going to keep moving up until it's at the beginning of the month. That's happening very quickly. But first, in June, we have the full moon that comes in first. 1st, and that hits on June 3rd. This is the best time to get anything out of your life that you don't want there. Whether it's a toxic person that's got to go, whether it's an old habit that you got to kick, whether this is something you got to sell, or maybe a project you got to finish up, all that is best placed under the full moon energy. And that just helps you kind of get that stuff out and get the change to stick. And you don't have to do it on the 3rd either. Just any time right toward the beginning of June is key for that. But don't wait too long, because in the middle of the month, we have that new moon energy that hits on June 18th. And that is the best time to bring new things into your life and to manifest and to bring anything in that you're trying to do, whether it's health related, start something new with health, start a new diet, start a new exercise program. You're trying to attract new love. Maybe you're trying to attract a new job or new promotion, or you're just trying to do something new with money. It doesn't matter what it is. Using the new moon energy, it can happen much easier in the middle of the month versus any other time in the month of June. If any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle forecast cheat sheet, and that is available every single month on my website, scottsagent.com, and it kind of shows you a visual aid, little graphic illustration of how these energies move in and out, so you can better utilize positive change, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day, is just making things go a little bit smoother for us. Now, let's get into the gemstone and the new product. Well, there is no new gemstone this month. We're going to take a break. We've just done 5 in a row starting in 2023. Those are all unveiled and available on the website, scottsagent.com, with the write-up sheet, which is very intuitive about what each gemstone does and how it can be properly used, and the new product. Now that I have to tell you about, because we are kicking off the gemstone again in July. It's coming back. We're going to drop a new one in July. But here in June, I have such a big product that I'm unveiling. That's why I decided to step away from the gemstone for a month. So the new product is a combination of actually 2 products. And I've been talking about this for my people for a very long time now. So this won't come as a surprise to everybody. But it's called a My Month Deluxe. It first takes my most popular product that I've ever put together, the My Month product. It talks all about your month, about that 30-day window that's being read for, so it's a nice little batch of divination there, very affordable for your month. The other thing that it's going to be combined with is already a set of 2 readings. It's an angel protection and animal totem package. It's angel protection and it's animal totems all combined in one. So now it's kind of like 3 readings in one we're doing here. It is a huge hit of divination, all in one package, one very affordable package when we kind of bundle it all together. And that product is going to be called a My Month Deluxe. It is available right now on the website, scottsagent.com. And guess what? If you're signed up for the newsletter, you're going to get a free one of these in June. Check your newsletter. It gives you instructions on how to do that. You're going to get a follow-up wonderful coupon for anything you buy after that. And oh my gosh, if you're not signed up for the newsletter, why haven't you? I give my newsletter people, I take great care of them, and I give them a couple free readings every single year just by being signed up to the newsletter. You can sign up for that at the very bottom of any page on scottsagent.com. And now let's get back to your reading. Okay, Aquarius, I am back, and we are here for this bottom position, something you're not aware of. And here they show a weird level of heartbreak in this deck that they wanted me to use for you guys. This is a strange kind of heartbreak. It's not your typical heartbreak. So I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about. But the Suit of Swords, it's my 3 of Swords on an invert. The Suit of Swords is a cerebral suit, very mental suit. So this can be illusionary stuff. This can be stressors, anxiety. This could be stuff that you got in your head that's not actually real. And by coming up the way that it does, it shows that this is going to be kind of like sucked out of you guys. So that's a good thing. They're letting you know that this, whatever this weird, funky mentality fog or heartbreak you've been going through is going to go away. That's very good. I don't know how it's going to go away. What is the kind of the prerequisite, or what is actually the cause and effect to this dissipating, but it is going away. So whatever this is for you that has held you back or burdened you, it won't be for very long. That's good news. Let's go running up the sides here with 7, 8, 9, 10. Number 7, we got a major theme here, major arcana card. This is your advice section too, and they bring in justice. So this is a karmic card, first and foremost. So the advice here could be saying, hey, be the bigger person here. Think of karma, cause and effect, and the things coming back to you like a boomerang. And June may be a month where this is going to do that. You know, sometimes the universe takes time. And that's kind of why the law of karma is an interesting one, because it doesn't happen like Amazon Prime. It doesn't come to your doorstep in a couple days. Sometimes this stuff takes years. Sometimes it takes lifetimes. Sometimes you got to live another life with these sanskaras that come back. And a long story, but long story short, they're talking about life review here on top of the karmic. So we have the karmic thing, and we have like life review, like take inventory of stuff. So they're saying this is going to come back to you in good ways. by doing this now, and that is the life review. So like zooming out, look at things, look at resolution, changes, things that you've healed, things that need to be balanced. Okay, so any unbalanced, they want you to review in the month of June, and it has a karmic attachment. Now, for some of you, this can actually be legal too. That is another definition of the Justice card. It's Lady Justice. She's my legal keeper. Now, this could be contracts, agreements, something you put your signature on. Kind of a weird thing for a spirit to advise you on, but if you're doing any of that kind of signature stuff, you do want to be very thorough with this in the month of June. Okay, you don't want to miss on anything there, or if you got any court stuff or anything like that, be very thorough. And it's actually good for you to do in the month too, because it is a positive position. Otherwise, they'd have this inverted, and I'd be saying, hey, avoid the court stuff, avoid the law, the legal aspect. But here it's coming in pretty good, so there we go. As we move up from there, now we hit your environment finally. This is what the whole Celtic cross was probably about, for like a kind of a crux reason. And here what they show in your environment is that you really see things very clearly. Thankfully, the environment that you're in, the people that you're around, and kind of everything, the landscape is very good for you to set goals, to attain goals for financial and for health. And it may be in other areas of your life too, but they're saying like you really have a good handle on this. The people around you, or the situations and circumstances, are just really good for you. So keep that in mind and be very thankful of that. Nice to see. As we move up here, the number 9, this is hopes and fears, and this is probably, you know what, I'm not sure if it is a hope or a fear, but this is something that needs to be done. Whether you hope it gets done or are afraid to face it getting done, but they show really kind of clearing your closet here, cleaning out the skeletons from your closet in the month of June. So this is a deep purge. And that's why I told you full moon. And going back to the environment, they bring up how important the environment is early in the month of June too, which just so happens to correlate with our full moon. Okay, so June 3rd, huge early in the month, guys, for purging type stuff. Most people view my videos early in the month. That's great here for you guys, because now you got the information. So what is it that you got to get out of your life, Aquarius? This is the question you should be asking yourself and then answering, because put it into play, put it into action. They show gifts from God, so there are good rewards here for you. It's like you clean out the closet and hey, you discovered you got a piggy bank full of old coins that are worth a fortune. That's a silly example, but you get the energy of it. You do the work and you get the reward, the treasure chest that you find in the attic, that kind of thing. Gifts from God. It says, we angels bring you gifts from your creator. Open your arms to receive. So you have to do the work. You have to open your arms at least to say, okay, where's my gift? It's not just going to drop out of the sky and drop to your door like Amazon Prime does, like that example we used. And then final position, guys, your number 10 here spot. The month is going to end with a little bit of a setback, okay? Now, that sounds negative, and it may be, but this could also be a very small thing. For some of you, this could be work-related setback, maybe a hard day at work. This could be small energy, like it's just a day or two. Maybe it's like a week for some of you, like a stronger intensity thing. But a small setback, when they bring this up, they're not kind of trying to get you to be like, oh no, these bad things. No, they're not trying to do that. They're trying to get you to realize that when this hits, like you can kind of acknowledge that it hits, like, okay, that's what Scott said. He said that little setback, here it is. Here's that little setback. So what am I going to do about it? It's not when you fall. Nobody cares about when you fall. It's what you do after you fall. How you get back up. How you act. Maybe some of you pretended you didn't fall at all. Maybe you slipped on something, right? That's the idea. So it's saying here that, don't let small setbacks block you from what you're trying to do. You're better than that. And just letting you know that there are going to be some rough patches here as June concludes. But you guys are good. You can get back to speed. It's just like you hit a speed bump in your car and you didn't see it. It's one of those hidden ones, or there was shadow on the sign or something like that. You didn't see it, right? Well, okay. Your car bounced really hard and that was a little scary, but okay. Well, you know what? Car's okay. You're okay. Get back to speed and keep going. That's what we show to conclude June. Now let's grab that runestone, guys, and we're going to get into your animal totems. They're already mixed up, but I'll give them one more swirl. There we go. Runestone for June is going to be this guy right here. Hold it the right way. Goes like this. This is the runestone of protection. Protection. So you are protected. They did want to use angel cards for you, not my red deck, which is oracle cards. Here they actually wanted to use the angels, so they're saying you are protected, and we have angels everywhere in your spread, quite literally, because we got 4 angel cards that came up, and the likelihood is that a normal spread would get 1 or 2. So we got like double dose of angels going on in the month of June. So they're saying we're good, you're good. We got the pieces behind you. You got your clique here. You got your spiritual bodyguards on deck working for you. So you guys are protected. Do not feel like you're not. Don't act out of weakness or anything silly like that. You are protected. You guys are good. Have a little faith, have a little confidence, and act in strength in the month of June. So here we go. Let's grab those animal totems. I can do that one and that one. All right, let's grab this sheet here of mine because I have so many animal totems. I don't have them all memorized because I have like 80 something of them. Way too many, really. Okay, so our first animal totem is going to be, and also this is available as a personal product, guys. It's actually paired up with another reading. It's like 2 readings in one. It's an angel protection and animal totem package. So if this is something that interests you, but you're like, hey, well, you know what? I want to go a little bit deeper than just my Aquarius friends. I want to see what my specific animal totem is. That's available at scottsagent.com, guys, plus a whole bunch of other great products. Animal number 1 that we're moving out of is a deer. Okay, well, I also have one for antelope. I actually did that for a previous sign. They didn't give you antelope, they gave you deer. Okay, so kind of more commonplace animal, more domesticated versus the antelope, which would be Africa. Okay, and then we're moving into the animal of, if I can find the right page, we are moving into mosquito. Wow, so deer into mosquito. Well, couldn't get much different than that, could you? Well, let's start with the deer. Deer is, they can become prey to a lot of carnivores. They're very kind of wide vision, getting the big scope of things. They have to survive, and they have to react quickly when things happen like that. Now the mosquito, very different energy. So let's start with getting away from the deer. Deer also, usually they're not in a huge group, but they're usually not by themselves. Sometimes the bucks once in a while, but usually there's more group social aspect going on. The mosquito, he doesn't care about his group. There is no group. He's all for himself, okay? Unless I guess it's breeding or something like that, but the deer would apply the same. So the mosquito, first of all, is not a pleasant thing, okay? So what they're trying to tell you to get into is stop worrying about being cute. Stop worrying about being the cute little Bambi. It's time to kind of be the bloodsucker right here. You got to be a little forceful. You got to be a little aggressive. Sometimes you got to just suck the life force out of other things to really inject it into your own life. It's just like the mosquito. It's creating life is what it's doing because it's taking the blood from us or from other animals that it's retracting the blood from, and that is how it breeds. It cannot breed without doing that. So in that same way, it's like you need to do the prior steps before you can breed whatever it is that you're trying to become fertile with, whatever projects or fertile ground you're trying to do in June. It's like you got to really get down to it and to the skin level, you know what I mean? Get deep in it. And this is all metaphoric, of course, but you can see the difference between the animals, at least the main tendencies. Of course, I have this great space above my head that I will fill in if I have forgotten anything or something occurs to me later. But I think the main thing too, part 2 of that whole transition is the flight. The mosquitoes are not bound by the ground. They can move around freely. So where the deer are more kind of scatterbugged and scared, mosquito, he can just kind of go around his way and do what he wants. Even though he's just a little tiny thing, he doesn't realize it because he'll just go up on anybody to get what he needs, okay? And in that same way, you need to act that same way in June. That's what Spirit's saying. So you can see the timidity from the deer moving into the, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm going to do it anyway type of energy with the mosquito. And it's okay to be a little bit of a pest in the month of June to get whatever it is that you need done. And that's what it's all about here with these animal totems. So that concludes what has been a very interesting reading for my great Aquariuses. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future readings. That is it for me. Please have a great June. I know you will.